Okay.
Right. Once you assign a color to a particular province, right? This one is now still left with three options. This is now left with 2, and this is now left with 2. Right? And then once you assign, say you assign this one to Northern Territory color, say of the 2 green and blue, you assign a color here. What's going to happen? The odds are changing. This is now left with 2. This is now left with 1. Right? So between South Australia and Queensland, I'm going to be forced to take South Australia because it has got 1 option remaining. I don't know if that makes sense for you.
Yes, I can get you.
Yeah, understand.
And then if we assign a color here that has got 1 input left, we assign it blue. Right? Once you assign it blue, right, we have a scenario again. We have to recalculate. This one is 1 left, 2, 2, 3, 2, and this 2 is 3. So the normal one to go to, we're now going to go and give a color to the one that has got 1 left, right? So after we do this, we recalculate again. We now have 1 and 2. So again, we give it a color. It is left with 1 option, which is green. And then again, we do the same thing. We recalculate, it's left with 1, so it's this one. And then we end up with this one, that is got 3. So we choose any one that we want to go. So that is called the minimum remaining value. So you always deal with, so with each allocation, the domain changes for the variables. With each allocation, the domain changes for the variables. Right. So that is minimum remaining value heuristic. So when you assign red here, you have 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. When you assign green, you have 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. When you assign blue, you have 1, 2, 2, 3, and you continue like that. Right. So the rule, we say choose variable with fewest legal moves. Choose variable with fewest legal moves. The only drawback to this is there is no, it does not break ties. Not break ties. What do I mean by that? How does it know where to go for there's 2 here, there's 2 there? And it doesn't break ties. So first, it picks at random. And we know there's no such thing as random. So, and which one does it start with first? There's no, it doesn't really focus on that. If it had started with this, then everyone else was to have options for 3.
But wouldn't it then be like the way to find the fastest is to start with the value that eliminates most options? So the area who's adjacent to the most objects, for example, the middle.
How do you know which one it is before you try?
So you can must now, right? You can must now see which actually occurs the most, which borders on the most provinces.
Right. You have eyes. You are a human being. Right.
Yes, but in programming, right, we all have to, you must assign that borders to the constraints. So the one who has the most constraints or shows up in the most constraints would be the one that is adjacent to the most borders. Isn't that correct?
Right.
I don't know.
So you're assigning an additional rule, right, to solve the situation. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yeah. I'm making my own rule, yeah.
Okay. So which is a good rule, because if you look at the next one here, we look at degree heuristic. So basically what they say is, select variable that is involved with the largest number of constraints on other unassigned variables. So you generally look at, before you start, you say, which one is the most constrained? South Australia had like 5 borders or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 borders. So it has got the most constraints. So we color it, give it a color. Right. So if we say, so this one is 5 constraints, this one is 3 or 2, this one is 1, 2, 3, this one is this is 1, 2, 3, this one is 1, 2, 3, this one is 2, this is 0. Right. So we start with this one. We color it blue. So we are going to do these ones last. So we do the 3 borders first. Just in any order, it's fine. So, but you do these ones, these ones, these ones, these ones. So the order is already predetermined by the allocation or the order. The order in which you're going to, if there are no ties, it's going to help. It will be pre-created, right? Because we know 5, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 0. So we are going to follow that order already. Whereas if you look at minimum remaining value, each and every allocation changed the potential to change the order in which you go to. Right. Okay. If you look at it as well, minimum remaining value, right, allows us to keep a short, how can I put it, a short path. Right? Why? Because if this one color that's remaining, right, is wrong, then we stop the search from there. But when we look at this, right, here it says start with this one, then start with this one, right? If, say for example, I do not want to put, so bear with me, this color is not big choice. This color is not there yet, but this is 3, this is 3, and this is 3. I can go and put red here. I can color this one red, which then makes it impossible for this guy to have any color, right? But it is a legal move because they all had 3 boundaries or constraints. Right? So that is one of the drawbacks of degree heuristic. Like you can continue with, if it's a bigger search, you can continue with your search even though it is going to end up in a fail, or if it's not going to end up in a complete allocation of the variables. Does that make sense? No? Yes?
Yes, makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
Because it will fill out the whole thing. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, you can
okay, you can go on. No?
Oh, I said no. It's just gonna take your search longer because it has to go, even though it's a failed attempt, it still has to complete it, right?
Yes.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, my question on the third point says degree heuristic is very useful as a tiebreaker. Like at the present moment, the blue what's this? The south, the blue one it was 5, and we've got 3 provinces that have got 3s. Is it not a tie there? And how does the degree heuristic break that tie?
So it is a tie, right? Yes, thank you for digging deep into it, but let's look at the initial tie when we're looking at the initial on where to start, right? It solved the tiebreaker for us, right? So if you can see if yes, I agree with you. These 3 have got the same one, and it was not very much useful as a tiebreaker, but we're saying it is how can I do it? When you look at learning, we'll talk of you separate the biggest groups first. you're going to have ties in it, but it will be for smaller groups. The bigger groups would have been separated normally already at this time. Some of the ties will be unavoidable, but the classifications, if I can use that word, most of the classifications have been done. So that is, in this particular case, where it is saved, to say where do you start off with. Because by allocating here, what you see as well is, though we are not choosing them together, by doing this, giving this one an allocation, in my human mind, I already know how I can, of course, my human mind is better. But if I do this and all the others are separate, we can already pre-map a path. Whereas with minimum remaining value, the path changes as you go. So here it was helpful. Here not so helpful in this particular case. In these three, not so helpful. But here it broke the deadlock for us. Right. So it is also its drawback, where we're saying in what order should its value be tried, which is what you're talking about. It is also basis drawbacks, but it is very useful. It can be very useful as a tiebreak. Was that
okay?
Yeah. Understand.
So it's not going to break all the ties, but it is useful as a tiebreaker. The other one we're going to look at is the least constraining value. Right. Given a variable, choose the least constraining value, one that leaves maximum flexibility for subsequent variables. And that leaves maximum flexibility for subsequent variables. So we're saying we could have gone for this one or this one. So this is the opposite, minimum remaining value and just the previous one, degree heuristic and least constraining value. Okay. So if I were to choose this one, because it has got two constraints, it will leave the others with elements where you can go. So this would still have 3, 3, 3, 3. This will now have 2 and this will have 2, but we have more 3s than before. So you want to keep the domain as large as possible for the others. Right. So if we had here, if we assign, say, red here, right, is what that was done. So if here we have got 2 and we have 2, we have 3, 3. So we need another assignment that will leave all these other ones with the maximum flexibility. So these ones that have got 2, if I go and put green here, right, this one will now have 1. But if I put this one, it will affect this, this, and that. So that's why you see it goes and puts here, right? Because putting here will affect the flexibility of these two. So this can be important in cases where I struggle to find lifelike examples for this one. Find cases where you don't want to close off a search faster. Maybe they are. Struggle to find a lifelike example where you want the search tree to be longer. Maybe when you're playing a FIFA tournament or gaming tournament and you want it to last longer, maybe, or something. I don't know. Or when you're playing what's it called? Bowling. Right? The more you are, the longer you play. Right? Not necessarily meaning you play for longer, but as a team, you have the early. No, but I struggle to find useful cases where this way. Yeah. Then the last one, I think it's port checking. So port checking is what it does is if you assign a value, it sends an agent sort of across and says, okay, we have assigned red to Western Australia. What is the impact of assigning red to Western Australia? So it does the permutations and combinations already to say if you assign red to Western Australia, will it lead to a solution? Right. So it says keep track of remaining legal values of unassigned variables. So what we're saying is if we assign red to Western Australia, let's just add one more here. Let's just add one more here. If Western Australia is assigned red, right? What's going to happen to the others? What's going to happen to the others? Northern Territory will now have two options. It will be green, blue. Queensland, which is this one, will now have, used to have three, red, green, blue. It then says North Southwest. Southern Australia will now have, that is the one that we have green and blue. And then this we have red, green, and blue. Victoria, which is the small one, will have red, green, and blue. And then North Southwest, which is North Southwest, it will have all three colors, red, green, and blue. So what it is doing, it is saying that if, say, for example, we then go, let's go 2 layers deeper. Right? Let's go 2 layers deeper. If we assign this...
I lost the sound. I cannot hear him.
Same applies for everyone?
Right back.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So I was saying, let me know if you can hear me. If we go and assign green here, right, we know that this is Northern Territory. We've assigned green. Southern Australia, we only have blue left, right? Not following any order. Queensland is, which one is Queensland again? Let me just check.
The one on the top left, top right, sorry.
So where is my Queensland? So if you assign Queensland is this one. So Queensland will now be left with 2 colors, right? Because green is taken, it will have red and blue. And then North Southwest, it will still have red, green, and blue. And if we have Victoria, it will still have red, green, and blue. And Southern Australia is blue. And then we have Tasmania, it will still be red, green, and blue. Right. The last layer. If we do this now and we go in and we say, let's assign Queensland, let's assign blue. Right. By doing this, we can already see that North Southwest, right, North South Wales, sorry, North Southwest, is going to have, what is it called? Blue is taken, so it will have red and green. Victoria, it will still have red, green, and blue. So Tasmania, red, green, and blue. But South Australia, there won't be any possible allocation for it. You see?
Is South Australia not blue already?
No. It's not blue. So we have it allocated. So here we're allocating in this order. So we've allocated here, we allocated this. On the second row, we allocated Northern Territory. On the third row, we allocated Queensland. So we said this one.
Tabo, I think what Kuda is doing on the other side, these are options that are available. The blue that is there is in the option that is available after he has allocated Northern Territory green. It's not like he has already allocated blue on. Southern Australia.
So the allocations have written in red. These are the allocations. These are when progressing the allocations.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah. So by doing this, by assigning blue here, I can already see there's no possible allocation for Southern Australia. Therefore, we say that it can detect inevitably failure early, right, and avoid it later. So there's no need to proceed from there. It backtracks. Right. So keep track of remaining legal values for unassigned variable. Terminate search when any variable is no legal values. Make sense?
Yes.
Right. So that is, I think, our stopping point for today. It's quite an elaborate topic, so we're going to look more on the concepts next week. We're going to look at class examples. We're going to look at the other constraints that you can look at and so forth. And then, so it's going to be over 3 sessions. The last part, we're going to look at what we call crypto arithmetics. So I have some content pre-prepared for you, and then you can go and have a look at it before you come to class.
Okay, 100%. Thank you, Kura.
Right, cool. Thank you guys for attending. Enjoy the rest of your
Okay, good
Have a nice
afternoon.
night, guys.
Do we have a... Oh, can you hear me? Good.
Yeah, can you?
I'm asking if so far we are able to do the assignment. Is it, I think it's doing this.
Oh, assignment 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to do assignment 2. Where did assignment 1 end? After 3 or 4, right? Or does it?
Yeah.
It only catered on searching, so you can start doing adversarial search. You can start doing constraint satisfaction. Yeah, you should be able to start doing assignment 2. There's only one chapter I think you haven't done that would be required for assignment 2, because machine learning is not part of assignment 2. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Cool. Done. Right. Also, yeah, the videos are coming. I think by this weekend, all the videos will be live.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Kura.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.